Yeah, so we'll just start off. Ryan Tannehill, he's really good. He really is really good. This offense is incredibly efficient.
Yep.
Finished 7th overall in 16 games last year on a run-first team. That's impressive.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Tannehill since he's been with the Titans. I've seen almost a rebirth, in my opinion, just to his career. I don't know if that was just a good kick in the butt or what, but he really seems to be a good fit for that system. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
So
the scheme. I mean, he'll probably be
yeah,
another because he never goes early in drafts. He always goes in that mid-pack range, and he's been a value the past 2 years, and he's going to be
yeah,
that again. Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys where if you miss out on one of those big quarterbacks, he'll always be waiting back there, and he's
yep.
a nice security to have. So we get into his weapons. This is where it gets interesting. They lose in the passing game. They lose Corey Davis and they lose Jonnu Smith. Those two combined are, I think it's just under 160 targets between those two last year. And this is one of the
Yeah.
few teams in the NFL who really do run the ball more than they pass the ball. But that's still a lot of targets up in the air. A.J. Brown's still there. A.J. Brown's still incredible. But they bring in Julio Jones. Can't get much better than that. Like, you lose Corey
I
Davis
mean,
and you bring in Julio
yeah,
Jones. Like, then
no
they
kidding.
also brought in free agency Josh Reynolds, who it was actually kind of funny. There were some reports about a couple days before the Julio trade that they were preparing Josh Reynolds to be the number 2 in this offense, be highly targeted. All the reports were very glamorous of Josh Reynolds, and then the Julio trade comes down, and now in this offense, he's not going to see anything worthwhile.
Yeah, unfortunately, I heard a lot about him taking Davis's spot for
Yeah.
sure.
The
And then
No, you're good.
no, that it's just he has no spot now.
Yeah, I
So,
think so. The immediate aftermath of the Julio Jones news is you have to wonder how does this affect AJ Brown? Like, do you see it affecting him negatively in any way?
oh, I don't think at all.
Yeah, same.
If anything, obviously the ball's being spread around, but it's
Yeah,
going to free him up
yeah,
too. I mean, he's not being locked down. Um, yeah, they're not. The defense isn't just solely focusing on him. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good on all angles. Honestly,
yeah,
the running game is
but
going to do even better.
yeah, and that's the nice thing about AJ Brown is he doesn't see 140 targets, 150 targets. He saw 106 targets last year and turned that into like the 8th overall
Yeah,
wide receiver. Like he's just a big play guy. He makes big plays. He doesn't need a high target count. And bringing in Julio, it's honestly kind of the same. I mean, I honestly feel like their targets are going to be pretty close. I think it'll come down to touchdowns and big plays. But that's the other thing. They hit Jonnu Smith a lot in the red zone. He's gone.
yeah,
I do think there's a chance where Julio, his normal target and receptions, those are obviously coming down in his yards, but his touchdowns could very easily go up because we're never used to Julio having outrageous touchdown seasons.
yep.
And I think, yeah, the biggest
So
question. Oh, no, you go, you go.
well, I mean, the next thing for me, and I know we're not on tight end yet, but Fursker was really I was excited to see before all the Julio news broke.
Yeah.
I was really
I
excited
and
to see
I
what potential.
yeah, I still think he's one of those really deep sleeper guys because they do have the vacancy in the offense. They do throw to the tight end a
It's
ton.
true. It's true.
And that could
Yeah.
change losing Jonnu. That'll probably come down a little bit, but he's still the top dog on this team. He performed pretty well
Yep.
last year. He'll definitely probably be in
Yep.
those streaming candidates at some point in the season. I can see that very easily.
Yep. He was a late round pick for me in some of our up and coming dynasty drafts that I just jumped into this season. So
Yeah.
um,
So I
I
think
was kind of bummed, but you know it's a good thing. So
I think the question really between AJ Brown and Julio Jones is their draft price and do you like them? AJ Brown right now he's going like
true.
4th pick of the 2nd round. I don't hate that. I don't like
No,
it's not incredible. He's like the 4th or 5th wide receiver off the board. Julio right now though, he's going decently later, the 12th pick of the 3rd round, last pick of the 3rd round.
man.
That's not bad. He's going right around Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Robert Woods. I mean,
So who would you rather have if you had to pick one of the two? Who would you go with?
that one's tough because I think this year with Julio, I think AJ Brown finishing as the number 1 wide receiver is off the table. He could
Yeah.
still top 5 is still in the cards, but if it was just going to be him and Reynolds this year, he definitely had that number 1 overall wide receiver potential. Julio, though, is probably at best a back end 1. So
here's this
I
about
think that's
Julio.
best case scenario.
He was quoted, correct me if I'm wrong, he was quoted saying, "Hey, I want to find a strong arm quarterback."
Yeah, a guy who can throw deep. Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't feel Tannehill is.
He has his moments, but
so, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And how much of an on ramp does Julio need, in your opinion? How much of an on ramp to learn the system and just get going?
I'm not worried about that part with Julio coming into the team. I do like both of their prices, and it hates me to say this. I'll probably go with the AJ Brown one, just because these will probably be your first wide receivers you're taking, and I'd rather have that upside potential top 5, and I just don't see that with Julio this year. I mean, I love Julio; he's one of my favorite receivers of all time, but he will be the number 2 on this offense.
Thank you so much for watching the Fantasy Monsters on YouTube. If you liked our video today, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the little bell icon. Get notified whenever we go live or post other videos. You can see the link below. You can click on previous videos. You can also leave comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. And we'll catch you next week.
Have a go.